So a lot of people tell me they can't remember their dreams. And the first question I always ask them is, well, do you want to remember your dreams? And it's not a gratuitous question. It's a real question because a lot of people don't want to remember their dreams. They got stuff to do and they don't want to take the time in the morning or whenever it is they have them. If they take a nap during the day, it's just like not interested. Okay. But if you are interested and you don't remember them, then I think one of the things that we skip over is, well, what is it you're trying to remember? I mean, what is this thing? Well, there's an idea out there that says that dreams are really the source of the inspiration for myth initially and literature. Well, why? Well, because they have a plot line, they have characters, they have locations, they have drama, they have a whole range of emotions. And clearly, we were dreaming and remembering our dreams before we wrote them down, before we maybe even had writing, and perhaps even before we had language. We perhaps drew our dreams. So, dreaming has been around for a long time, and it's a model. It's a model for a story. Okay, so now we know we're trying to remember a story. Why? What's this all about? Well, to sort of understand it in the modern era, we have to go back to Freud and Jung. And Freud has written, all kinds of, he wrote a huge book about how you interpret dreams and is credited really with bringing the idea that dreams have value back into human awareness around the beginning of the 20th century. Jung had a bit of a different concept, and it gets a little complex about obviously the theoretical differences between the two, and I don't want to overly simplify this. But the best way to describe it is a dream that Jung had that he brought to Freud for analysis. And in the dream, the two of them are excavating a basement. And they get down and they clear out the first level of the basement, and Freud is there. And Jung decides to dig deeper. And what he finds in this lower basement are rooms upon rooms and tremendous complexity. Okay. So as a metaphor, that's a statement about the difference of the two. The story that is being told also differs in terms of Freud and Jung. Freud thought that what was being told to you in a dream was something that a part of you didn't want to hear. So the dream kind of needed to be sneaky in terms of getting that message across to you. What Jung believed, and my thinking is more aligned with his view, at least in this area. He believed that it was an incomplete thought that was trying to get into your awareness, okay? It's no different from our waking lives. It's no different from when we sit down and try and solve a problem, or we are writing something and can't quite get it together. And so we work on it and it evolves. Well, that's what a dream is. A dream is an incomplete thought. So now we know that what you're trying to remember is something that on its face probably doesn't make sense, but is trying to get your attention. Okay? That's very useful because the onus is not just on you. Now, in terms of your waking life, now you realize there's two parties in you who want you to pay attention to this. There is the dreamer that made the movie, and there is you in your waking life who kind of remembers or is beginning to remember this dream. Now, I'm not going to go in detail about, leaving a pad and pen by your bedside. Some people now record them on your iPhone, all this kind of stuff. That's fine. I mean, you can look it up, and I don't need to repeat all that stuff in this video. But if you're having a difficult time, right? I mean, a lot of people say to me, well, I wake up and I know I had a dream, but it's gone. Okay, not unusual, but just lie there. Don't get up. And the metaphor here is trying to find your car keys. Okay. So you lose your car keys. They're in your house because your car is there and you're there. So the keys must be there, right? You didn't lose them somewhere else. You couldn't have got home. So what do? You retrace your steps. You try and put yourself back into when you got out of the car. And what did you do? Did you have packages in your hand? All that kind of stuff. It's the same thing with a dream. So maybe you just get a little fragment, a blue jacket. Okay, so you sit there with the blue jacket and you ask yourself, Did I like the blue jacket? Is this the color blue that I would wear? What do I feel about this? And sometimes you will begin to get the dream back. Sometimes not. In which case, you get out your dream journal, and keeping a journal is part of this. And I'll explain that to you further in a minute. And you write down blue dress, not the color I would wear. Period. And get up, go get your coffee, and go to work. Because what's happening is you are basically setting up an intention in you. It's like, okay, that's all I got. I'll take it. I'm going to give you a surefire way of remembering a dream, absolutely foolproof. And this is going to sound self-serving, and perhaps it is, but I'm telling it for a reason beyond that. The way to remember a dream, make an appointment with me. Why? It's not that I have some grand influence, through telepathy that's going to tell you to have a dream. Of course not. What's going to happen is you and your dreamer are going to realize, oh, wait a minute, there's this guy that I have an appointment with next Wednesday to listen to my dream. And it's not oh, I better have a dream. No, it's now you have an audience, okay? You have someone who's going to listen to this aspect of your experience. And that's the driver. It's like, oh, somebody wants to listen. So on the one hand, you have yourself who understands that you are telling yourself something you're trying to hear. And then you've got somebody else who's going to listen to that. And that's key. The telling of the dream is really the way in which you understand it more. And it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? So you have a dream, you remember the dream, you write it down, okay? And then you tell it to somebody. And in the telling of it, you expand your understanding of what the dream's about. You begin to realize parts of it that hadn't really made any sense, or you'd almost forgotten, didn't really matter. I'll tell you, that's half my work. Is people come in and they tell, oh, here's a repetitive dream. I've had this dream over and over and over. It's the same dream, and I know what it means. I say, okay, let's just agree there's an and here. Your dream, I agree, means exactly what you said, but let's see what else there is. There's always a lot more. So the remembering of dreams, number one, is not totally on you in your waking life, okay? You have a partner in this, inside you, who wants you to hear the story, who wants you to take this unformed thought and bring it into awareness and help expand it. And as that happens, your dreams are sequential. They work off each other, and they do it in a very random way sometimes. I mean, sometimes you got 6 subjects going on at the same time, it feels like. But they're all working on this idea that you're trying to bring into awareness to do what I consistently say to people, which is to help you step into the next larger version of who you are. So you can remember your dreams if you want to, and you do dream. And you dream every night. And there's no onus on you to remember absolutely every dream you have. It's really a process. You will go in and out of dreaming sometimes, and that's the subject of a different video. Why do you not dream at various times? But remembering them is not just some sort of routine, like you go to the gym or something. Remembering them is allowing yourself to have this conversation that will lead you to something you don't know or you're trying to understand. So I hope that helps, and I'll talk to you soon.